Hello, everybody. We're looking for 200 subscribers. Let's just start the show off with
200 subs.
Right. We would like you to like, subscribe, because, you know, we do have some good info and we're good looking guys. That's not how we should start this.
About this Vitalia too modest.
That's not how we should start this. But
not at all.
Listen, we want more ladies watching this channel. We know you're a bunch of dudes.
What? Are you gonna take your shirt off? I saw. I saw you.
Are we starting again? Are we starting again? Are we starting again?
Those pajamas. Oh, no.
We're going to talk about a new stock we haven't discussed, but has been discussed in other channels a little bit, very little, AquaBounty Technologies. And before we do, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're looking for 200 subs, right?
So close to 200 subs. We could maybe do that even before the end of the year. That's not a lot. That's just clicking the subscribe button, hit a thumbs up, and click the bell.
Help us help you. Help us help you. Okay, so we forgot to say stock alert.
What we're noticing is like a lot of the stocks that seem to be getting traction that we talk about are in a specific price point.
It's a low market cap stock. I'm going to share my screen because
low market cap stock.
The first time I heard about this stock was from Dead Inside. What a crazy name this guy has, Dead Inside. I wanted to give him a shout out because he had some really good picks, I gotta say. And Nano Dimensions is another stock we might cover later, but some stocks that I bought basically right when he said them, and I did like quick research, they have 3x, 4x, and this guy is keeping his eye on the prize.
Also, he is, even in the title, ARK Invest's penny stock holding. ARK Invest has been on fire this year. As you can see, Kathy Wood's ARK Invest Innovation becomes the largest actively managed ETF amid 170% 2020 return. A lot of these picks come from the incredible research that the ARK Invest team does before they invest any money, which is one of the reasons why they had the record-breaking year that they've had.
And he sort of blew up. Honestly, he had like a couple hundred followers when I first heard of him, and he just blew up to 57,000 followers. Me and you were trying to get 200, and this motherfucker's getting
200. We just
57,000.
A tenth of that.
AquaBounty Technologies, ticker symbol AQB. AquaBounty is a company I talked about previously, but for a quick recap, AquaBounty is a biotechnology company most known for its research and development of genetically modified fish. As of 2020, their salmon has been approved for sale in Canada and United States.
So I just wanted to give him a shout out. Basically, he says what AquaBounty does, which is genetically modified fish. The beautiful thing is their fish grow faster. So the whole premise of this company is that they can cut the costs of growing salmon. And obviously, to get anything genetically modified into stores is actually really difficult. So, but the FDA did just approve after literally its company's been in business for 20 years. AquaBounty currently is $9.39, and it had a big run up already. But right now the market cap, just to go over this real quick, is $520 million. So ARK Invest Holdings, they have an ETF called ARK-G. And if you haven't heard of ARK-G, well, then you're living under a rock at this point, okay? So you're not paying attention to investing at all. This is the ARK Genomic Revolution Multi-Sector ETF. She has a lot of great stocks in here, and we can talk about a lot of these. Like Pacific Bioscience is actually a big holding of mine because she has it, and it's number one in this fund. Guess who's at number 35? It's AquaBounty here. I don't know if you can see it.
Can see it.
But it's AquaBounty Technologies, and she has 8 million shares, which is only 1% of her portfolio. But having said that, she has acquired, just to show you an article, how much of this company she has acquired. And this is important. Tesla backer, which is ARK Invest, buys 10% stake in genetically modified farm salmon producer AquaBounty. ARK Invest, the New York-based investment firm focused solely on disruptive innovations, bought a 10.21% stake in land-based salmon farmer AquaBounty Technologies. Now, basically, the reason I bring it up is that anyone who invests 10% of anything, of any company,
well, she bought 10%
of the whole company, of all the shares.
Yeah, it's 1% of it's 1% of the allocation of that portfolio, but she made a point to own a tenth of that company. That's a Warren Buffett style move. Who comes in and buys percentages of companies.
Yes.
We're not going to grow more food. I mean, essentially, as we move to the future and we have more people, we're going to need more genetically modified food to feed the growing number of people.
A better way to raise Atlantic salmon. Okay, that's great.
If you're a sushi fan, that's the type of fish you want.
So AquaBounty is saying they're going to lower the price of Atlantic salmon I forgot, but it's a lot, but it's like 30 to 50%. We have to look that up to be exactly, but they're
Right.
lowering it a good amount where it makes sense for a food distributor to start buying AquaBounty, as
Yeah,
opposed to
right.
something
Versus
else
farming it from the
from
actual.
the ocean. Right.
Let's just cut to the chase. These are $4 stocks. For them to go to $9, $10, $12 is not impossible, and it's highly probable given the position that they're at. There's very little downside and a potential huge upside to these companies. And for a lot of these, what the worst that'll happen with these is a lot of them just trade sideways for a long time. And if you happen to be in them when they pop, which a company like this. A company like this solving this problem at this time in the world, if they could secure some big purchase orders, now that they have a green light to be able to actually be able to be sold, there's only potential upside for a company like this.
I did look at other market caps of other companies doing also like farm salmon and just fish in general, but bigger companies. They're in the $5 to $20 billion range.
Right.
So I'm not saying AquaBounty is exactly going to be imitating. They're still tiny, but look, if that market is in the billions and AquaBounty is in the millions, it just shows that they have an opportunity to grow into the billions, right?
If they capture just a small piece of the market, which is nothing for some of the other players, it will be huge, and ultimately it'll affect the stock price. You could see a 2x or a 3x from here.
But once again, a growth company, a doubling, I don't think that's the end of the growth story, a doubling. That's not what we're all in it for, know?
All of these companies with mega market caps have, doubled several times over. It's just a matter of where your entry point is. But at 520 million on the market cap, a promising future, some good news, and especially even if you look at the charts, it looks like it'll be another channel that looks like it's going to be created. If you count that low, we'll see where this low is as it drops back down. If it retests at 850 or $8,
Well, okay,
there's a new low.
It was higher and started tanking. So remember, they have made no money and they have sold no salmon until very recently. Okay. So even though when they IPO'd, I think they were at, was this
30
like
something?
$30? Yeah. So honestly, I didn't even know about it until the $4 at this point. So my point being that they were already at $30 when they IPO'd, and then all they did was tank because they had no sales. Their prospects of making anything were years out. And guess what? Now it's actually happening. Now they're starting to actually sell the salmon. They got their approvals from the FDA. They're expanding. They've raised a lot of money. They actually have money on the cash balance sheet, which I think I showed for a second, but let me show it again. If I go to financials, they raised money, obviously, by some share dilution, but that gave them enough money on the balance sheet where now they're not going bankrupt for a bit. So they have money to work with. Look at this, cash and cash equivalents. They're at 3 million. Remember, this is a small company. And before they had 506,000. So they've expanded their balance sheet. This is 2018. 2019 is also 3 million. So they have 3 million, 2.799 million.
Right.
That's what they have. But still, this is a lot of money for a tiny company.
No, it looks like it's a relatively small operation. It's more like a little science lab.
Well, they only had one place, and now they believe they're expanding to 3 places. So obviously they're growing, they're small, and that's the whole point why we bring up these companies on this channel, because you're not going to make 10x on Facebook anymore. You had your chance, right? Now, is this the opportune time to buy it? Once again, it might be above the trend, so it might have to go back down and into this channel. You see what I'm pointing at?
It could go in there, or what could happen is a new channel could start at the between the $7 and $9.
It could. We can take a look at that. This is like, it's possible it goes back down to retest
This is when it starts to become 50-50.
Yeah, you're not sure where it'll go.
Not sure, but it's got to make a decision somewhere in here. Is it going to find some? Is it going to be able to boost up and find some new investors, or is it going to drop down and retest as some people that bought in earlier, or people that bought in at $4 cash out and take some profits, take a quick 2x?
Well, dollar cost average. That's what I would do here, honestly, because worst case, let's say it goes between the 21 and 50. So let's say it drops back to $6.40 or somewhere around there. Honestly, that's a buying opportunity if you really are in this fish play and you need to diversify your portfolio a bit. But it is a fish play, right?
Too much protein in your portfolio. You need to balance it out.
Well, at least I want to say one closing remark before we go on AquaBounty. So this is a fish play for me because I don't really have a lot of fish in my portfolio. That's one.
Right, but it's not like we try to diversify our portfolio based on the animal kingdom.
Well.
Man.
Well, we do have. I do have a plant-based play as well happening. We can talk about that later. But so the second thing is that as we move into the future, just think of the 10-year trajectory of genetically modified, like anything, any food, meat, fish. Like this is obviously what's going to happen as food is harder to we're over farming the oceans. Let's face it, right? And the farm fish we have are not actually good for us.
There needs to be a solution that takes care of the quality problem as well as the physical production, the quantity problem.
And they're handling both.
Right, and this handles both. This allows you to just essentially create them in the environment where they're needed at scale, at quality, fast. So they're solving a lot of problems. And as we continue to destroy the planet more and more, we need to get more and more creative at solving these problems. And these are the types of companies that are doing that. And you're right, in the next 10 years, it's probably like 0% of the salmon that we eat is genetically modified. In 10 years, that could be 15%, 20%. That's a lot of salmon.
That's a lot of fish these guys are going to sell. No one can just come behind them and just step right into their shoes. They've spent literally decades doing this. So if you're going to have any fish play, if you're going to have any fish play, this is the fish play you're going to have.
Right. Well, I don't know how I could follow up such a glaring recommendation. No, but the idea is to think about them in a lot of ways like Tesla was. Tesla traded sideways for a long time as they were just building and making mistakes. And if you try to catch them, you need to go through that. And you can accelerate some of it, but you can't get around some of the ups and downs and just the time that these companies have taken. So if you want to come in and try to compete on for some salmon, you're going to have to put in some time that this company's already done. It's hard.
Yeah.
This is not one of those where you're going to hold on to this and put this in your IRA and keep it there forever. This is not one of those stocks. This is one of those stocks where it's like, if you want to take advantage of the bull market and put a small percentage of your portfolio to potentially triple it in a relatively short period of time, this is a potential company. It is a bit high right now because it's had a bit of a run. But if you don't buy now, just keep it on your radar or do what Vitaly says and just dollar cost average in. But the idea is like, these are the companies that are popping now because they've been trading sideways for 10 years, Now you've got the chance. And it's at the right price point where if you don't have a lot of money, you can pick up a significant amount of shares. If you go and say, I'm going to pick up 50, 100 shares, every dollar this thing moves is $50, $100 in your pocket. If you can pick up 1,000 shares, every dollar this thing moves is like 10 grand in your pocket. That's the way you should look at these plays. And there is underlying fundamentals here that make it seem like this thing is going to go up.
Even if it goes back to $4, I'm not actually thinking, oh shit, it's dropping, I'm going to sell. I'm actually thinking, oh shit, I'm going to buy some more salmon. I'm going to buy some more genetically.
We're having salmon tonight.
Like and subscribe, baby.
Like and subscribe for more.